Here we are in one of the most famous rooms in one of the most famous palaces in Europe. This is a hallway. It's right there in the name, Hall of Mirrors. It is a hallway that connects two sides of the palace, and it's located on the second level. If we want to look back, it's right here. It is this long stretch of hallway connecting the two sides of the palace, and it's on the second level. The windows overlook the back gardens, and they are echoed with the same size and shape of mirrors. So that is where it gets its name, Hall of Mirrors. Ah, okay, that's it. That's it. Just kidding. What else do I want to say about this? Oh, well, it continues with the extremely elaborate and expensive wooden floors. Ooh, let me tell you, if you're into the history of interior design, you'll love this. So, for the most part in human history, floors were either like stamped down earth, right? Just dirt floors that are stamped down. Or if you were really fancy, you had stone floors or little mosaic floors, little stone pieces of floor. But wood floors is insanely expensive because wood is a very expensive material. It's a more limited resource than stone, right? You have to grow those trees before you chop them down. So wood floors, we see them coming into fashion during the time of Louis XIV and Versailles because they are extremely expensive. And then the craftsmanship of these kind of woven floors, in fact, the pattern that we're seeing here, it's called the Versailles pattern of parquet floor. And then other nobility who've been living in Versailles, they're like, I love these floors. They go back to their houses and they start making their own wood floor patterns, and so you'll have different style of parquet pattern wood floors, and it becomes all the rage and it's super more expensive than stone. Okay, back to the Hall of Mirrors. The Hall of Mirrors here, it's named that because of the hundreds of mirrors that create this fantastic, brilliant space. The light shines through the garden and then is reflected. Ooh, see, look at that. That's a view down into the garden itself. And then it's reflected back in these mirrors, creating this beautiful, intense extravaganza of light that bounces off of these crystal chandeliers and the gold of the paint. We're not going to look at the paintings. They're great, but they're not what our focus is right now. Instead, see these mirrors here? Think about the intense amount of wealth in the marble, in the gold, and these mirrors. We take mirrors for granted now because of machine making mirrors, but mirrors were very difficult to make at this time and very, very expensive. So the fact that he has hundreds of mirrors lining this wall is not to skimp on anything. That is a luxury. Now, the mirrors reflect the natural light to create this luminous space, and then at night, as the sun goes down, the candles and the chandeliers and the candelabras are lit. And for Louis, the candles would be made out of beeswax. So no like stinky animal fat, tallow, gross, icky, stinky candle burning flames. Ugh. No, instead for Louis, they're made of beeswax. So when it burns, it smells like honey. And these are hundreds of candles that are lit every night. Now, this is a hallway, and hallways, you've been in a hallway, they're really boring and sometimes dark and scary. So, to counter all of that, Mansart, Hardin, Mansart, and Lebrun have given you those mirrors and then those chandeliers. And the chandelier, the candlelight, it bounces off the mirrors. It creates this gorgeous haze. Now remember, we would be dressed to impress with our satin dresses and suits and our diamonds and glitter and gold and we would be just sparkling like little stars under this fantastic hall of mirrors. Isn't it beautiful? Here we are. Here's another view of the Hall of Mirrors.